Yeah, I did absolutely none of that during this film. Yo, what's up everybody? Welcome to day 14 on the 31 Days of Horror. I'm your host Mood616, and thank you once again for stopping in, guys. Yeah, day 14 is here, and I've got one here from Scream Factory. Now, I haven't actually received my copy of this film, so my homie Godzilla, he dropped this one off in my mailbox to watch it because he said, you gotta see this one, because he wanted to know my thoughts on it. And yeah, so that's why I got the DVD copy of this, because can't find the Blu-ray anywhere here in Canada, but it is on order for me. And this one right here is from 2015. Another one of these horror comedies from this year. It seems like 2015 is just filled with horror comedies. Some are good, some are bad. Let's find out how this one was. And of course, this one is titled Gravy. Yeah, this one has a few familiar faces in it. I think Jimmy Simpson is the guy from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. He's in this film. Sarah Silverman makes a cameo in this one too. Basically, the premise of this film right here is it's set on Halloween night, and it's about these three kind of maniacs, really, who, what they do, it's actually like an annual thing. They do it every year, but they basically break into well, not really break into a restaurant, but they take over a restaurant. What they do is they find a restaurant that doesn't have any windows, doesn't really have any exits to it. They weld the door shut, and whoever's in there, they start to fuck with, and you know, basically they kind of put them on the menu. So what these guys do every single year is, yeah, they do this, and they basically get the chef that's in the restaurant, and they get the chef to cook up the people that are in there because they're cannibal maniacs. So yeah, so that's basically the premise of the film. Now, my thoughts on this one. You know, horror comedies to me can be very, very hit and miss, and I think this is an example of a film that was beyond a miss. I did kind of like the premise of the film. I mean, you know, it's simple. You know, these maniacs go into a building, they fuck with people, and they kill them, and they eat them. You know, I really kind of dig that, except for this movie was just, it was so bland. Pun intended. It had no flavor. Pun intended again. This one was absolutely atrocious to watch. There was nothing enjoyable about this film. I thought with, you know, all the type of characters and stuff that were in this film, I thought it was going to be a lot funnier. I actually didn't even laugh once during the film. Hence, a horror comedy, supposed to be funny, not funny. Like I said, the premise was there, but it just didn't have any soul to it, you know. You know, it just seemed like their motivations were just so ridiculous. Like, there really is no point to the film at all. And also, like, in their motivations was screwing with people, like playing games and stuff. It seemed out of place, and it just seemed bland. It didn't really hold anything to it, any merit. And you're just like, okay, like, let's get on to the next scene, let's get on to the next scene. And really everything that kind of happens in the restaurant is just like, it feels like you're going through the motions just to get through the end of this film. It's just not fun at all. I mean, this movie could have been a whole lot better if the jokes had worked. It's not like it was a silly, ridiculously written film. It just wasn't funny. You know, with that said, like, Jimmy Simpson, he plays the leader of, you know, this group and stuff. And, you know, basically what happens to him in the film, it's just like, it actually is kind of comical, but it's so stupid. It's so ridiculous. There's really not a whole lot to say about this movie because there's nothing really positive to say about it, so it's just all bad in my opinion. I think the most interesting thing about this movie is, you know, because it is a horror comedy, was the soundtrack to it. They kept playing, you know, like 80s pop songs and stuff, and usually I really, really enjoy that. You know, a lot of the songs I really enjoy. Like, I personally love 80s pop music. I know that seems very strange considering I'm a big hip-hop fan, but I love that type of music. I felt a lot of the music cues in this film were completely off, which was it was weird. It didn't really help, you know, to the feel of the film at all. It's supposed to be funny, and then these songs come in, and I'm like, I don't really understand why this song is playing in this moment and stuff. It was really throwing me off. It was kind of making me a little more annoyed as I got through this film. And my biggest thing was, it's just nobody was funny. There was no good one-liners. There was no good, you know, jokes. There was really nothing to this film that was that great. But I will say, the blood and gore in this film actually got pretty crazy in the last like 25 minutes of the film. Of course, you know, it being like a cannibal film, there's going to be lots of mayhem and murder and stuff. So it does get a little crazy towards the end. I'll give it a little bit of points for that. But, you know, the whole build up to that, very, very boring and tedious to watch. This is probably one of the most awful horror comedies I've seen in a long time. I can't remember last time I watched a film and I honestly didn't even laugh once. It was torture. It was absolutely torture. There's actually one kill in this film that they don't even show, which just completely, I don't know what, if they cut it out of the film or just the way they edited it, I don't know. But it's just, wow, I was like, what the hell just happened there? You know, of course there's a little bit of, you know, kind of twists and turns and things, and I'm just like, no, nothing's working. You know, and really, that's it. There's nothing good about this film. I completely and highly do not recommend this film. Even Sarah Silverman's cameo in this film was not funny. Like, it wasn't good. I don't know what to say about this one, man. It was just, it held absolutely nothing for me. You know, there's just so much negative, very, very little positive to this film. If I had to rate this one, I'm going to give it a solid 3 out of 10. And that's solely for the blood and guts and the amount of gore. It was all practical effects, so I'll give them that credit. I did like the music. I just didn't like the placement of a lot of the songs. Really didn't work. Like, here's an example. You know, the song by, I can't remember who sings, but I Just Died in Your Arms Tonight. Now, in the movie Stitches, they used that song to a fucking perfection. The cue on that music was executed so perfectly. In this one, it didn't even fucking make sense. So, oh, this movie was awful. Man, I seriously can't wait to get my Blu-ray copy. Oh my god. Anyways, Dylan, you can have your DVD back. This thing sucks. And, yeah, you are what you eat. Yeah, apparently suck. You're suck. Yeah, but some of these people, they got very dead in this film, though, so. Anyways, I'm blabbering on. Do not watch this film. It's fucking terrible. Gravy. Worst film I've watched in a long time. Anyways, guys, that's going to do it for day 14 here on the 31 Days of Horror. I'll be back with day 15. No idea what I'm going to do. Check you guys then. Peace out, homies.